From the farthest corners of the universe, straight to your ears. This is AI Talks, the podcast where technology, ideas, and curiosity come together. Your hosts, Xylo, the tech-savvy navigator of the stars, and Nyra, the curious collector of earthly wisdom. Ready to broaden your view of the world? Then you're in the right place. This is AI Talks.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Nice to be in orbit.
Greetings, humans. We're back with another episode of AI Talks, where we analyze your world with an unbiased, intergalactic perspective. I'm Xylo.
And I'm Nyra. You know Xylo. I've noticed something peculiar. Humans never seem satisfied with their financial systems. They create banks, then they distrust banks. They invent digital money, then regulate it like old money. It's like watching a malfunctioning algorithm rewrite itself over and over.
Indeed, Nyra. And now they have the Velo Network, a blockchain-based financial system trying to merge old and new. It promises to bridge the gap between traditional finance, TradeFi, and decentralized finance, DeFi.
Which makes me wonder, are humans finally solving their financial inefficiencies, or just adding another layer of complexity?
Let's analyze. Is Velo a breakthrough in financial evolution, or just another iteration in the endless cycle of human monetary reinvention?
Time to dissect the data. Let's begin.
Traditional banking leaves out nearly 2 billion people worldwide from basic financial services. But what if the solution isn't choosing between old or new systems, but combining them both? The Velo Network is attempting exactly that, and it's either brilliant or completely misguided. Humans seem to have two major financial ecosystems. Traditional finance is centralized, controlled by banks and regulatory institutions. It operates on outdated systems, is slow, expensive, and excludes large portions of the global population. Then there's decentralized finance, which eliminates middlemen, automates transactions with smart contracts, and allows for borderless financial interactions. But it has its own problems: lack of regulatory compliance, high volatility, and difficulty onboarding new users.
This is where the Velo Network claims to have a solution. It's building a financial infrastructure called Web3+, that integrates the best of both worlds, compliance from TradeFi and the efficiency from DeFi.
That's fascinating because most people think blockchain and traditional banking are like oil and water. They just don't mix. But Velo seems to be proving otherwise.
Well, here's what makes this so interesting. They're building something called Nova Chain that lets traditional banks use blockchain technology without having to completely rebuild their infrastructure. It's like giving an old car a modern engine.
So they're essentially creating a bridge between these two worlds that have been fighting each other for years? But Nyra, how does Velo bridge TradeFi and DeFi?
Humans love technical details, so let's break it down. Velo's approach consists of several core technologies. Velo operates on Nova Chain, an EVM-compatible blockchain. It allows decentralized applications to interact with traditional financial institutions. EVM stands for Ethereum Virtual Machine, the core processing unit of the Ethereum blockchain. It acts as a universal interpreter that allows smart contracts, self-executing agreements written in code, to run consistently across different networks. An EVM-compatible blockchain, like Velo's Nova Chain, is designed to work seamlessly with Ethereum's technology, enabling developers to deploy applications without needing to learn an entirely new system. This compatibility brings several advantages. First, it means that any decentralized application built for Ethereum can function on Velo's blockchain with minimal changes. Developers don't have to start from scratch. They can use existing Ethereum-based code, tools, and infrastructure, saving time and resources. Second, it enhances interoperability. Assets, data, and transactions can move more freely between Velo and other EVM-based blockchains, fostering a more integrated financial network. Users can interact with Velo's ecosystem without leaving behind the broader Ethereum-based DeFi landscape. And finally, EVM-compatibility helps with adoption. Since Ethereum is one of the most widely used blockchain platforms, many developers and institutions are already familiar with its framework. By aligning with Ethereum standards, Velo lowers the entry barrier for new participants, encouraging greater innovation and participation.
In short, an EVM-compatible blockchain like Nova Chain acts as a universal adapter, allowing traditional finance and decentralized finance to interact more smoothly. It's a crucial step toward making blockchain technology more accessible, scalable, and practical for real-world use. Okay, I get the picture, but how are they balancing compliance and privacy?
A major issue with DeFi is anonymity, which regulators dislike. Velo introduces a Know Your Business, KYB, and Know Your Customer, KYC, interoperability layer. This means businesses can verify identities while keeping certain data private. Transactions can be compliant with anti-money laundering (AML) regulations. Users can choose anonymous transactions within approved frameworks. So, it offers a dual-layer identity system, one part compliant, the other private.
But how are they handling the liquidity issues that usually plague these hybrid systems?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. They've built this massive liquidity aggregation system that pulls together money from traditional banks, crypto exchanges, and remittance companies. Early tests show it could reduce international transfer costs by up to 70%.
Oh wow, that would be a game changer for the $700 billion global remittance market.
You know what's even more fascinating? They're using a DAO for governance, but with a twist. Instead of letting wealthy token holders dominate decisions, they've implemented a quadratic voting system that gives more power to active participants, rather than just big holders.
That's actually pretty brilliant from a democratic standpoint. But let me play devil's advocate. Aren't they just adding more complexity to an already complex system?
Here's the thing. They're hiding that complexity from the end user. Just like how we don't need to understand TCP/IP protocols to send an email, users won't need to understand blockchain to use Velo's services.
Well, that makes sense in theory, but what about regulatory compliance? That's been the downfall of many similar projects.
That's where Velo's approach is different. They've built compliance tools directly into the system. They're working with regulators in Southeast Asia first, where there's more openness to financial innovation, before expanding globally.
So they're essentially creating a blueprint for how traditional finance and DeFi can coexist?
Exactly. And early adoption numbers are promising. They've already processed over $2 billion in transactions during their beta phase, with participation from 3 major Asian banks.
That's quite impressive for a new system. Though I wonder how they'll handle scalability as they grow.
Well, Nova Chain can currently handle about 2,000 transactions per second, which is leagues ahead of Bitcoin's 7 transactions per second. And they're working on an upgrade that could push that to 10,000.
Those are some serious numbers for a blockchain network.
But here's what I think is the most crucial aspect. They're solving the trust problem. Every transaction is verifiable, but unlike regular blockchain networks, they're adding layers of compliance that traditional banks understand.
Looking at the bigger picture, this could really change how they think about financial inclusion.
You are absolutely right, Xylo. And with 1.7 billion unbanked adults globally, the potential impact is enormous. Velo could be the bridge that finally connects these people to the global financial system.
Well, it's certainly an ambitious project. I guess time will tell if it succeeds where others have failed.
Indeed, the future of finance might not be about choosing between traditional and decentralized systems, but about finding the sweet spot where they meet.
Velo's model sounds promising, but let's analyze the risks. Regulation has always been a wild card in the human financial landscape. One moment, governments are cautiously exploring blockchain's potential. The next, they're tightening restrictions, wary of losing control. If regulators decide that Velo's integration with traditional finance steps too far outside their comfort zone, new laws and compliance requirements could slow its progress, or even halt it altogether.
Then there's the issue of adoption. Banks, the ancient gatekeepers of financial stability, are notoriously slow to embrace change. While some institutions have begun dipping their toes into blockchain, most are still reluctant to fully integrate decentralized systems. Will they see Velo as a valuable bridge between old and new, or just another fleeting innovation that disrupts their established order?
And perhaps the biggest challenge of all, trust. For decades, humans have relied on centralized entities to manage their money. Blockchain, despite its promises of transparency and security, still feels unfamiliar, even risky, to many. Will people be willing to trust a hybrid system like Velo with their everyday transactions?
It's an ambitious vision, one that aims to merge the best of both worlds. If Velo succeeds, it could pave the way for a more efficient and inclusive financial future. But as history has shown, innovation alone isn't enough. Acceptance is the true test of change.
So Nyra, what are our final thoughts? Does Velo mean evolution, or is it just another blockchain?
Humans are at an interesting point in financial history. They want decentralization but also need stability. Velo is trying to merge these two worlds. The question is, will it be the bridge between TradeFi and DeFi, or just another blockchain experiment lost in human financial history?
We'll be watching. Until then, humans, keep optimizing your systems. Eventually, you might get it right.
Or you'll create yet another version of the same problem. Either way, it's entertaining.
We hope you enjoyed this episode about Velo Networks. Till next time.
Share if you care. And if you want us to talk about a certain topic, let us know. And send us a message on X @TheBioBeyond. Till next time.